And welcome to Parade Ice Garden for the Section 6AA Girls Hockey Tournament. It's a dynamite field this year. It's the number 6 seed Armstrong Cooper taking on the number 3 seed and 3-time defending state champion Minnetonka Skippers. Hi again, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, I don't believe there's a section around that is even close to this tough. I said last week, and I mean it entirely, that this tournament is going to be more difficult than the state tournament this year.
It will. There's absolutely no question about it. And for the first time in 3 years, Jay, it's pretty wide open. It was pretty much benilde and Tonka for 3 years now. This year, everything's pretty much open. Both Tonka and benilde look pretty vulnerable, and the other teams have gotten better. And I'm expecting this to be a pretty close game, believe it or not. Armstrong Cooper has improved over the past 3 years. Should be an interesting game.
Armstrong Cooper starting Ashley Ritten in net this year. They've got 2 seniors who have split time a lot over the last couple of years, and Ashley getting the nod here in this first playoff game to see good save percentage, good goals against average, and she will take the reins in net here. And we are about set to drop the puck here. The Skippers in white, Armstrong Cooper in black, and we are underway here as Tonka controls it early here with Emma Biggums putting one right on net early on here. And Ritten is asked to make a save in the opening moment here. There's Hannah Ersman, the starter, and all year long they've obviously had a clear number 1 in their situation for the Skippers this year. This is maybe kind of a trap game for them a little bit. I mean, I'm sure people expect them to win, and Armstrong Cooper, without a doubt, a very dangerous number 6 seed. I don't think there's much question that this is a pretty quality hockey team. Maybe not, haven't had quite the accomplishments, obviously, of a team like Tonka, but a good team the last couple of years. They've been strong. Well,
they've took 3rd place in the Northwest Suburban Conference. It's a pretty good conference here. And last year they were kind of surprised. This year they weren't, and they've played pretty consistent, and they've gotten better as the season has gone on. So this is their period. They're very good in the first period, so they're going to try and get Tonka down as quickly as they can and make them play from behind.
Sydney Baldwin shot blocked. A dynamite first line for Minnetonka. And we saw some of their talents, even though they just got the 1 shot early on. Armstrong Cooper, Holly Enderly circling back behind her own net. Up the right side, Zoe Smith bangs it into the Skipper's zone. Icing waved off as the puck flutters a little bit there. Grabbed up by Camille von Steinbergs. Poke checked away here, and then flipped back out to center where it's gathered up by Kaylee Roy for Armstrong Cooper. Whipping it across there to Andrea Pavaseth. That one broken up at center ice by Diana Dreyer for the Skippers, and she'll send it on in. They come hard on the forecheck, but Armstrong Cooper able to get things going back the other way with Marissa Odell. Odell trying to go to the net. It just got away from her as she had a poke check. Odell picks it up to the trailer, and the puck bounces in on net off a skate rather harmlessly there and knocked to the corner. Skippers trying to get it out, but couldn't do it. As Burke sends it down deep. Alyssa Burke, sending it deep. Older sister, I stepped in my head there for a second. Across it goes, and they'll work it out. Zoe Smith. Pass getting off the skate of Tori Adams and back into the Armstrong Cooper zone where Zoe Smith tracks it down here. Puck hops over a stick and then knocked back out to center and flipped right back in here by the Skippers, Katie McMillan. Centering pass here is off a skate, comes out to the point. A fluttering puck. Ritten makes the save and then is knocked into her equipment. Those can be a little bit scary sometimes. The puck was bouncing after the shot here. You see it's deflected up in the air and has to play the short hop kind of.
Ritten did a nice job there, though, Jay, by getting her body and letting it hit and bounce on the body, and then reaching for it and getting herself out of position. Then she just flattened out. Nice job holding that down. That's a tough save for a goalie.
And you could see that she was, when she was down on the ice, she got moved about 3 feet by the bodies in front there, too, but just kept calm and stayed on top of the puck there. So it's been a lot of play in the Armstrong Cooper zone so far, but they've done a solid job of holding off Minnetonka in the early going here. Skippers obviously know how to win at playoff time too. And granted, each year is a different year. Here's a long shot, that one knocked down. But you do get that, the sense that they have been able to be in tough games and win tough games, whether it be here at Parade in the section tournament, whether it be in the Lake Conference,
yes,
or ultimately in the state tournament. So that obviously is a little bit in their back pocket to rely on just a bit too.
Well, we talk about section stuff, but that conference might be the best conference in the state too. I mean, we can honestly say that, top to bottom, it's something else. And this is the first year they've really had trouble there. They took third place. They're not used to that situation. And starting out the year 13-0, and then they went 5-2 for the last part. So there's some question marks here. And is it affecting their confidence? A first good game here in sections will probably help that, but they've been taken down a little bit these last few games.
Banked out to center, and this one will pop into the Armstrong Cooper zone. And a giveaway there taken by Riley McDonald. It's one thing Coach Gray talked to me about is we have to make sure that we don't have neutral zone turnovers, because that is where Minnetonka is really dangerous, particularly when they've got their first group out there.
Well, in fact, that's going to be a key to this game, too. They're going to change their forechecking scenario up so they can take control 3/4 of the ice and transition in the neutral zone. He doesn't have a lot of confidence in them having a lot of attack time inside the Minnetonka zone, because Minnetonka is a fabulous defensive team. They have been ever since Coach Johnson took over there, and so they're going to look for transition, getting opportunities in transition through the neutral zone.
Ritten had a little trouble with that puck, and now the skipper is able to force a turnover here with Michaela Rothstein. Out to the point. Baldwin looking for an opening. That one flutters high off the glass. A long rebound, though. Ritten has to make a save in front. Now a turnaround try hits the skate. Armstrong Cooper, all 5 players back in front of Ritten in a little shell there as the skippers bang away at it. Now a shot. That one never made it to the net. Blocked by Stephanie Olson. Tonka looking to attack from behind the goal now. Back across. Rothstein sending it out. That one saved by Ritten. Back out high to the point again, and they'll bring it across. Baldwin a shot. Pad save. Rebound is in. Minnetonka on the board first as Rothstein, the sophomore, buries it. They kept the pressure on. First one was a pad save, but she was in good position, and Michaela pops it in.
Well, third line here for the Skippers just kept pounding it. They sent it up top, which I liked. They spread it out. Finally, they got it into Baldwin's hands as their second leading scorer. She got down to a shot, came off to the side, and Rothstein was standing right there and pops in the rebound, and Skippers get off to a 1-0 lead.
So not the scenario Armstrong Cooper was hoping for, and hoping that they would maybe be able to play with a lead, because Minnetonka has had a little bit of trouble scoring this year, but at least by their standard, let's put it that way. I mean, they still scored plenty of goals, but so Rothstein able to put that one away. Just her 3rd goal of the year, so a benefit for the Skippers too. And like you said, Dan, getting some goals from other than that top line. Now it's loose in front again and hammered into the body of Ritten.
And again, just like you talked about, Jay, a turnover inside the Armstrong Cooper zone, and coach is going to be a little upset there. Coach Kevin Gray, head coach, 3rd year with the Armstrong Cooper program, has done a really fine job. Jay, they've came out of nowhere. The past couple of years, they've had had a lot of success.
Holmgren and Baldwin getting the assists on that goal as Rothstein's 3rd of the season. So 1-0 lead here for Tonka. Played back down toward the corner there by Van Steinbergs. Now out into the circle, and that a little deceptive shot put on net by Diana Dreyer into the midsection there. And there you get a look at Eric Johnson, and I always like to catch up with Eric and Adam Craigthorpe, his assistant. Both of them were good hockey players for Bruce Johnson over at Armstrong High School. So interesting matchup when he goes against his old school Armstrong paired with Cooper, obviously, and back out to the point. Intercepted here by Armstrong Cooper. Now Terrace leaving it for Odell. Marissa Odell forced to the outside. Wanted to go back to the point, but they were changing, and now a turnover, and here come the Skippers. Now they look to change up as well, and that shot sailing up high. Puck lost right out front. And now Rothstein, fresh off the bench, putting it toward net, and we got a penalty coming up out front against Armstrong Cooper. They got a little too physical in trying to protect their goaltender. Lauren Klein was knocked down, and Armstrong Cooper is going to get an interference penalty as they will take Mari Verbaeten alongside the net. It was kind of hard to miss right there.
Well, I'm a little surprised though too, Jay. If you saw where the skipper was, she was right inside the crease, and it wasn't even close. And that's usually where they kind of let some of that physical stuff go. When a player steps inside that crease, the defense is allowed to move them out, and of course they called that. And this, again, Armstrong Cooper doesn't want this scenario. This is not a good one.
Baldwin quarterbacking that power play, so talented up top. Nice puck movement here, but then the shot is right into the body of Burke. Burke pursuing Baldwin here. Pass a little behind the target, Kelsey Crow, but they'll get it restarted again as Baldwin brings it up. Minute and a half to go in the power play here. Minnetonka already up 1-0 here early in the first period. In the Section 6AA quarterfinals, we'll also have the Wayzata Maple Grove game coming up for you. That's the game after this on the Saturday afternoon, the 4-5 seed game, and that one should be a great one as well. Chop to the corner.
Enderle just doing a fabulous job just ragging the puck down here, Jay, taking a lot of time off that penalty kill.
And there's Terrace getting a piece of that back pass and nearly got to it herself. Odell squeezing in there. Now Terrace gets a piece of that one, and it deflects up into the Minnetonka bench.
Well, this is kind of scary, Dan. These are their two top scorers for Armstrong Cooper. Skipper's got to be very aware of it, and they're being aggressive, Jay. They're not just backing off. They were going to try and work in to get a shot on this penalty kill.
Baldwin leaving it over there for McMillan, and up they come up the right side. 40 to go in the power play here for the Skippers. Baldwin down to the circle. Here's a quick shot. Ritten turning that one away off the stick of Bigham. Now Bigham gets it again. It rolls free, and Terrace able to float a backhander out to center. Into the Armstrong Cooper zone, and then the clearing attempt is blocked. Smith chased back into the corner there, or Roy rather. Little drop pass here, a dangerous one, but Baldwin got to it. Under 10 to go in the power play. Baldwin teeing it up, and a pad save there. And the penalty time is now over. Verbaeten out of the box. There's another quick shot, and Ritten the save. A little bit of a quick whistle there. She did not actually have the puck, but official thought so, and whistle sound. So pretty decent penalty kill there for Armstrong Cooper, Dan. They, not only did they limit the shots from anywhere but outside, they also were able to bother him and harass him a little bit back in the Minnetonka zone.
Yeah, only in the last, probably about last 20 seconds or so, they put some pressure on there. But again, like you said, Jay, from bad angles too. So they did a good job. Hopefully they can build some momentum off that.
Tonka continuing to possess almost as though they're on the power play here. That shot into some shin pads, bounces loose again. It's alongside the net. And Minnetonka working again here, getting things set up offensively. Little flutter puck there, and that one deflecting just wide. The original shot by Crow.
Armstrong Cooper's packing that front, Jay. They're leaving the points wide open, and that's how they scored their first goal. The Skippers did. They're smart enough to get it back out there.
There's a save by Ritten and another. You get the feeling, they are doing a pretty solid job at it, but at the same time, you can't play the whole game this way and have any chance.
Well, Ritten's getting a workout. I'm sorry. Pucks are getting through. You might want to put your wings up top and let them cover the point a little and bring your center down low instead of trying to pack the box like that and open it up a little bit.
Skippers a clean face-off win. Armstrong Cooper did not have all 5 players out there. Verbaeten joined the fray late. They dropped the puck when they weren't quite ready. Now Odell able to tip it to center. Now gets it. Has Terrace with her, but way late trying to make that pass. Could have been a breakaway if she'd gotten it to her immediately. Now spinning back away is Presley Norby, the talented sophomore for Tonka. Getting it ahead here to Bigham. Right side with it now, Annalise Rice to the middle, backhander, and that one denied by Ritten, who lost her goal stick briefly, but gets it back. Rice looking to spin away from a defender here. One thing Coach Gray said is we've got a little more size than them, and we're hoping we can use that. Oh, there's a turnover right at the blue line, though. Rice a shot, and Ritten once again called on to make a save as a bad turnover there, right up the middle and right at the blue line. Minnetonka looking to pounce, and they did.
Well, they're just because they ain't that big, they're a pretty smart group of hockey players, and they're very skilled too. This is a young team comparatively. They don't have a lot of seniors on this team, and 9 freshmen and sophomores are playing regularly for this group at Tonka. So, but you could tell the skill, Jay, and they know what they're doing. They're playing their system.
Back out to the point, and they'll swing it across now. Baldwin turns, gives it right back there to McMillan. And she had a little indecision with that puck and loses it. Stephanie Olson racing after it, but Baldwin calmly comes to get it. But we're going to have a holding penalty against the Skippers as Olson tried to get by. She was held up just a bit, and it was enough to draw the referee's attention there, and McMillan is going to go for a hold.
She kind of gave it that who me look, and the ref was pretty emphatic about, no, you grabbed her. I saw you do it. But here's a break for Armstrong Cooper. This is an area where they've got to capitalize now, too. They've got to really make this work on their special teams. They've done a good job on the penalty kill, but this is where they need to put some pucks in the net.
Terrace back out. Verbatim at the point and back behind Terrace. Baldwin gets to it and floats it all the way down the rink. Verbatim will leave it for Emma Terrace, the Bemidji State recruit on the way up ice here. Leaves it for Verbatim, and now Odell. Odell to the middle. Wants to set up behind the net here as they get that power play all set up. Verbatim out high. Behind Terrace, or excuse me, Odell. Verbatim trying to draw that defender to her, but Minnetonka has been pretty disciplined in that penalty kill. Terrace back out. Verbatim a shot, and looking for the tip was Enderle, but it goes over the glass. Now they leave it for Enderle. Back out to Mari Verbatim at the point. Has a little screen with her, and now puts a wrister on. And Erzman called on to really make her first real save of the night, I think, right there, or the afternoon.
A little bit of a flutter puck here. Not much of a speed generated on the shot, but tried to create an opening there. But you can see how disciplined that Minnetonka is on the penalty kill. They're running at about 87%, which is a very, very good number. If you can be at 75%, it's good, but they've had a great penalty kill this year.
45 to go in the power play as they dig for it along the wall here. And Terrace able to come out of there with it. Terrace swings it across. Here's that shot and then never made it to the net. Verbatim's attempt blocked. Terrace circling back out high again. Terrace fires and scores! Enderle with the screen in front, and Terrace finds the net, and we're even up at a goal apiece.
And there's the Bemidji State coach sitting down in the stands here, Jay. That's pretty happy right now watching his recruit bury the puck for Armstrong Cooper. Nice play by Terrace. Look at how she had her head up. She really took a look. She wasn't going to pull it until she saw an opening, and she found a nice spot in the lower left-hand corner that beat Hannah Harrisman. And we got a tie game.
And they've done a great job, really, of working Enderle into the front of the net. I mean, her screening there was a huge part of that goal, too, even though she doesn't touch the puck or probably won't get an assist on it. But Terrace will pick up her 20th goal of the season right there. And, boy, did they need that one, the way this first period had been going.
Yeah. Like I said, they're pretty much a first-period team. They're used to getting the upper hand right away, and all of a sudden they weren't in the beginning here. So at least get even right now is good for them. Taking a look, good battle off the boards, but look at this shot coming in really nice. Just zipped it right in that corner to your right. was right in front there, just doing a nice screen job.
And Armstrong Cooper, a good depth team, but sometimes it does take, you know, your Odells and your Terraces, some of the high-end talent needs to come through in these games too to have a chance against Tonka. There's a nice save by Ritten. And then another as Minnetonka doesn't seem to be phased much by giving up that goal. All of a sudden they're right back on the attack.
Well, when you play Eden Prairie twice, Edina twice, Hopkins twice, so they don't get too messed up about anything. But Ritten here's done a nice job, but she's going to have to stand on her hedges. She's going to have to make about 3 to 4 saves today that she probably shouldn't if Armstrong Cooper's going to beat Minnetonka.
And that one was a very good one there. It was a change of direction kind of shot. And there's going to be an icing call as a misfire on the pass for Verbatim at center. But Kevin Gray applauds the effort there and gives them certainly a shot on the arm getting that power play goal.
Well, opening up that weak side wing there is telling Minnetonka, too, don't get too comfortable in our attack zone. We're going to try and filter somebody behind you or at least even to break pressure and catch you off guard a little bit.
Armstrong Cooper in this round last year knocked off a very talented Lake team in Hopkins. And, you know, that kind of solidified what had been a good season for them. They did end up losing to Benilde in the next round, but was certainly a memorable win for them, and they would like to do the same here against Minnetonka this afternoon. Skippers have other ideas. You know, you're talking about how tough the Lake is. I had a little conversation this week with Becky Wacker, the Wayzata coach, who we'll be seeing in the next game. And, you know, you look at their schedule and you think, oh, well, they slumped down the stretch, or same with Minnetonka. But then you realize you're playing within your conference. Every team's a top 10 team. So one or the other is going to have to lose. That doesn't mean that their play has dropped off greatly or anything.
No, just a break here and there. And you'll notice, too, Jay, as we looked at that schedule, a lot of one-goal games. You know, differentials. I mean, 2-1, 3-2. But,
and we've got a penalty out at center as the skipper was dumped. Play does go on. I thought the whistle had sounded, but I guess not. Back the other way. Here's a shot. Ritten making the save. Delayed penalty against Armstrong Cooper. And now they gain control of the puck. And we get an interference call as Presley Norby was knocked down at center ice. And right there, Terrace knocks her down. And I thought I had heard the whistle blow. And I think I would say, Dan, about at least half the players seem to kind of come to a stop a little bit there, too. And then the next thing you know, we're still going.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the whistle did not blow. It got a little loud in here, though. But this is going to hurt Cooper. I mean, or Armstrong Cooper. Terrace is one of their better players, and they got to kill this one off with 2:08 left.
Good opportunity here for the Skippers to retake the lead, and Armstrong Cooper going to have to fight it off. And tip back free and knocked down out of the zone and back into Erzman's end of the rink here as picked up by Baldwin. Nice pass ahead there to Norby, who was knocked down there at center, and in second look it was pretty clearly a penalty. Not much much argument on Terrace there as she skated by and kind of hoped that her nudge wouldn't draw the penalty. Now I wouldn't disagree if you said Norby maybe embellished a little, but it was still clearly interference.
Definitely, and that's why Terrace in the box.
Ritten has been awful busy in the first period. They've gotten one past her on a rebound goal, but otherwise she's stood strong in net for Armstrong Cooper. Down to the circle, a little pass, comes free out front. They can't quite get it out. Baldwin able to stop it there. Norby will leave it for Baldwin and hammers a slapper just wide. Ritten scrambling to turn around and get a look at which side of the net it was going to come out on the rebound. And another shot directed to the corner as we go under a minute to play here in the period. Norby to the front of the net, leaving it for Baldwin. It'll slip through and they'll have to regroup at center. Baldwin, though, just turns on the jets, brings it back in as they change behind her.
Nice pinch off there.
Penalty coming on the Skippers as Odell was tripped on the way out of the zone. And now it's going to be called. So will get things evened up, and then Armstrong Cooper into the second period should be getting a power play of their own as trip called there, and Lucy Holscher will go.
And just prior to that, Henderly, we were talking about, who was standing in front, just pinched off Sydney Baldwin into the boards just very nicely. And I hate to say this in girls' fashion, but she did a nice job without really getting physical. Just kind of restricted her space and took the puck away. And then they started coming back or down. That's when the trip occurred. But nice play there. And that's tough. Sydney Baldwin is one of the finer players in the state of Minnesota. She, number 8 for the Skipper. She's something else, boy. I'll tell you, she can play.
So 4-on-4 right now, late in this period. Verbatim knocked down, and then Verbatim a little swat. I think if we hadn't just had 2 penalties, that one probably would have been called.
Yep.
They let it go a little bit. Now a joust for it in the corner. But I think in a lot of ways, if it gets a little more physical, it's probably to Armstrong Cooper's advantage. Terrace, fresh out of the box, fires, and that one hit a stick in front. Well, it was like set up on a tee for her, coming straight into the offensive zone out of the box. And now time's going to run out, and an interesting first period of play here. Our score after 1 in the 6AA quarterfinals. Number 6 seed Armstrong Cooper won. Number 3 seed Minnetonka won. We'll be back with more hockey here on 12 Sports.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No?
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
We are even up at a goal apiece after 1 period here at Parade Ice Garden between Armstrong Cooper and Minnetonka, even though the Skippers somewhat dominated that first period. We'll get a look at first period highlights here. A quick shot by Baldwin, and then a nice rebound goal by Rothstein to put the Skippers up front as they pretty much peppered the net for a good share of this first period. Ritten making a couple of nice stops right there. And Armstrong Cooper looking for a tip, and here's their goal as Emma Terrace brings it to the middle on a power play. Got a screen out front and snipes it home. Zoe Smith getting the assist. You see the shots heavily in favor of the Skippers, as were the scoring chances. They had a lot of time in the Armstrong Cooper zone, but at playoff time, you take advantage when you get opportunities, and that's what Armstrong Cooper did. So they are right there, even up after a period, and they'll be having a power play to begin period number 2. We'll be right back to Parade Ice Garden. The first of many games we'll be covering for you here on Channel 12 Sports at this tournament. Armstrong Cooper won, Minnetonka won. We're right back in a moment.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Armstrong Cooper hoping to sink the Skippers here. As you see their student section, it's always interesting when you get, a little bit of a mixture, although those look like a lot of Armstrong letter jackets, but two schools that are huge rivals in other sports. And then for girls hockey, they kind of come together and supported this group here, and especially when they had, a nice breakthrough year like last year. And first period, I don't think you could say that they were thrilled to be outshot by the margin they were, but overall, looking at the game, I mean, they knew that they were going to face some challenges with Minnetonka, and to be 1-1, I think they're kind of feeling like, okay, we're where we should be, we're where we want to be right now.
Well, it's just like when they started the game, same. That's a tie score. It was 0-0 then. It's 1-1 now, and they still got 34 minutes to play. But they've got to start establishing some type of presence inside the Skipper zone. This power play is going to help them starting off right off the bat, but they got to relieve the pressure. 18 shots to allow in the first period. That's a lot of shots, and that can wear your defense and your goalie down. So they're going to have to switch gears a little bit more in order to put more pressure on the Skippers.
Well, we had all the players out there ready to go, and they got to the center circle and all of a sudden realized there's no officials out here. So a little tough to play without them, and now they make their way out, and somebody has a puck, and we'll be ready to jump in and play. As Dan said, Armstrong Cooper on a power play from minute 23 to begin this second period, and we are underway. Armstrong Cooper controlling to start it out, but losing the handle, and now Terrace will regroup and leave it for Verbatim. Here's Emma Terrace getting their power play going. Ahead for Enderle. Enderle stopping behind the net here. Trying to go to Odell, but that pass was off target, and they'll have to regroup in their own zone. Verbatim giving chase. Pressured hard there by Norby. And Verbatim able to come out of there with it, trying to go to Terrace, but Baldwin read that and stepped in and broke it up, and now it's Odell. Marissa Odell leaving it for Verbatim, chopped loose. And Odell's going to have to work her way across. And you see Armstrong Cooper, they're really not wanting to have to dump the puck, but at the same time, they're just having trouble penetrating that blue line. Minnetonka is stepping up, and they've got skaters that can force you off course.
They got to move the puck quicker and faster here. They're just kind of floating here and there. Now they finally do dump it, Jay. Now they got to get there. Get two people on that puck as soon as you can.
Armstrong Cooper was changing, and just able to keep it in was Burke. Zoe Smith. Penalty time is now over. It's across to Burke. So Minnetonka easily killing off that penalty, and no momentum gained at all for Armstrong Cooper. In fact, it was the opposite.
Well, Skippers came out with some jump, understanding they had to kill a penalty, and I'll tell you what, they've outskated him so far in this period.
There's a hard low shot on net. Written a stick save, and then raises that goal stick, letting Annalise Rice know that her presence isn't welcome.
It's nice to get a big stick in the mush there when you're kind of pushing in, but yet again, that's setting a little pattern for both teams there, a little message sent.
Hasn't been a particularly physical game. Each team took 2 penalties in that first period. Off the draw, Minnetonka able to gain control. Back around it comes, and Baldwin a drive, and Ritten makes the save, and then leaning backward. I don't know, I think if that was you or I falling back like that, Dan would probably be in some pain, but Ritten able to do it with no trouble.
That chest of hers has taken quite a beating so far in these first 2 periods. That's where a lot of those shots have gone, and frankly, Baldwin can bring it too. That wasn't any fluff shot.
Down to the corner, Skippers controlling Norby. Now they ring it around top. Baldwin regains control, pushes it to the corner. Nice little move down there by Rice. Rice cut off by Terrace, but again, this is how a lot of the first period was. Minnetonka buzzing, and Armstrong Cooper really packing it in front of Ritten.
And what would happen if Armstrong Cooper started stepping out, just competing?
The net has come off there as Rice tried to bring it to the net, and it was sideways.
But at some point in the game there, you've got to get into these one-on-one battles and start winning them. Don't necessarily surrender space and puck to the opposing team because they're quote-unquote better. Get in there and battle them a little bit and psychologically get in their head to let them know that they're going to be in a game here. And right now, the Skippers are dominating in the attack zone.
Minnetonka controlling it off the face-off, as they've been good on face-offs this afternoon as well. That shot, though, right into the shin pads of Stephanie Olson, and Armstrong Cooper looking to counter-attack, but that pass doesn't connect on the right wing. They have had a few too many like that in the first part of this game here, so icing call. We're heading back to Minnetonka, or the Armstrong Cooper zone.
They've missed a lot of passes in this game, Jay. Armstrong Cooper has, and it's going to start coming back to bite them if they don't start picking it up, getting it on the tape here. That's one thing Minnetonka does very, very well. They get them pucks on the sticks, and that's why they're able to control it and move it around as well as they do.
And doesn't it feel like when it's really unforced, like it's almost like two turnovers as compared to, it's one thing if somebody steps up and makes a good play on you, but when you have an opportunity and don't use it, it's like an opportunity lost.
Sometimes it gets in your head as to who you're playing. Forget who you're playing. Just play the game of hockey like you're supposed to play and compete and battle. Forget it that it's the Minnetonka Skippers.
Tonka with an opportunity here, Holmgren. Armstrong Cooper got back into position pretty quickly, though. It looked like originally it might almost be a 2-on-1, but now the centering pass is broken up. Baldwin bumping Olson off the puck there. Here comes Baldwin. Smooth skater. Baldwin to the front, and the net comes off again as she tried to drag it across.
Oh, my gosh. Sydney Baldwin, ever dangerous. Look at this move. Just smooth and just pushes herself right in front. Just lost control of it a little bit there at the end. But boy, oh boy, what a threat. What a threat she is.
Well, and she's so smart, too, that she's playing in a defensive position and not necessarily looking to go end to end. And normally you'll see a player that sometimes falls in love with their own skating ability or stick handling ability, and that's not what we're seeing. I mean, she just takes the opportunity when it's there. That was a high level college move right there.
Absolutely excellent.
Puck coming through as they try to go to Riley McDonald with it. Dug off the wall there by Holscher. Back for McDonald. Three Skippers down low as they get it set up. Now back across. Here's Baldwin, a shot, and it's under Ritten's pad. I think there was a brief feeling of, is it behind her, because the puck really disappeared.
She didn't have that stick down in that 5-hole, boy, and it got stuck underneath there. Thank God she'd pressed down enough pressure, but you think they like Baldwin taking that shot from the point there, Jay? What do you think, huh? She's going to have tired arms tonight with the amount of shots she's taken from out there. But, that's where, Tonka wins 3 state tournaments. They see that they're packed in, get it outside, spread it out, and use that shot to loosen things up here. And it's been very successful for them. Now they're not scoring at the rate they'd like to, but it's still being very effective.
That net has come off more times than they'd like, so they're trying to get it solidified in there a little bit more. It didn't really appear that, a lot of times obviously fans or players of the other team are going to think that it was intentional, but it didn't really seem like Ritten was doing anything out of the ordinary, and it was coming off fairly easily there, so they're trying to get that shaped up. Back out to the point. Here's a drive, and that one sailing just wide off the stick of McMillan. Fight for it here, and Odell comes out of there with it now for Armstrong Cooper. Trying to drag it through the middle there, and then shoveled on in, and a penalty coming up there against Minnetonka as Presley Norby got into the body of Kinsley Kellenbeck and will be called for checking. And so Armstrong Cooper will go on the power play.
There's another opportunity, but you'll see it right here, just kind of like bang, got that elbow out there, and yeah, there was no question about that one there. They were dancing. We were talking earlier about how Tonka has not taken many penalties this year. They've been pretty good that way, and this is kind of a little bit of a surprise, Jay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a frustration play by Norby. Maybe felt she'd been bounced around a little bit, and a clear penalty there. There's a drive. Ersman has trouble.
It's a goal. Oh my gosh.
Armstrong Cooper will take the lead on the rebound goal. I think it might be Enderle who ended up knocking it in.
Now here we go with a high shot that's up top that went off the chest, and
It's off her
Rebecca
skate.
Jones.
Yeah, Enderle's skate. And she'll get credit for that goal.
she wasn't expecting it to come in that high. She was done, had to come back up again, and it dropped down and hit her skate and went in. And we were talking, Jay, earlier, you were calling it Enderle just being in front, being a nuisance and a pain, and all of a sudden it worked out for her. And they're, what are they, 2 for 2 now, I think? Or no, 2 for 3. On the power play.
So 2-1 lead for Armstrong Cooper as the high point shot falls at the feet, and Enderle, it goes in off her skate. So Armstrong Cooper in an upset bid here, taking a 2-1 lead.
Now this plays very, very favorably into Armstrong Cooper. They want you to play from behind. It takes you out of what you do and allows them to do what they do well. So this is what they've been hoping for.
There's a quick shot and Ritten a save. Sounds as though they did grant the goal to Verbatim rather than Enderle, so maybe it was off a defender's skate instead. There's a look, a lot of trouble, and just got to the rebound before Dreyer.
Well, she's having a little trouble with that stick, Jay. The last couple shots, she didn't get in front of that 5-hole, and that time it kind of twittered off the edge of her stick there and gave her some issues.
Bouncing puck there, and Ritten makes the save. Skipper is getting it set up again. And that one put right on net. Ritten makes the save, and a big scramble for the rebound there. Another look at this one as Verbatim takes the high shot here. And they swing at it, and it's just hard to tell what it went in. I thought it went off Enderle, but apparently Verbatim ends up getting the goal. It must have been a Tonka player whose skate knocked it in. So instead of the goal, Enderle gets an assist, and Verbatim gets the goal. They'll take it any way you slice it, though. Those kind of goals can be just what the doctor ordered at playoff time.
Well, yeah, we mentioned, Jay, that
here's a tip, and Ritten a save on that one.
these special teams have got to work for Armstrong Cooper. They're going to beat the defending state champ. I mean, they got to get some things going their way, and they have so far.
Ritten sliding over to make another save. Skipper's really pushing the attack. Backhand try there by Bigham. Again, we are not on a power play. It's just they've controlled the puck a lot. And Armstrong Cooper packing it back in. Here's a shot, and Ritten makes the save. And after a while, you wonder, does Minnetonka start to get frustrated? You know, how many good shots do we need to put on before another one goes in? And now a little jousting out front again.
Well, again, they're a young team now. This is not the veteran team we've seen for the past 3 years. So, yeah, maybe that is a factor. I don't think the Skipper teams of the past 3 years would have gotten that frustrated, but we'll see how they operate. And this is where the seniors got to step and say, just chill out here, relax. Plenty of game left. We're only down by a goal. Relax.
Played back behind the Armstrong Cooper net. Smith spinning away, but right into a forechecker there. And now Burke. That pass taken away by Baldwin. Baldwin fires and scores. We're tied. Showing off the not just talent, but ability to read a play, too. She sees this backhand pass coming and just jumps on it.
It's telegraphed big time, but here you go. Senior stepping up. Relax, girls, have got this. And we saw her make that move before, and this time she cashed in. Just a beautiful play by Sydney Baldwin. Get this game tied up again. Good response by the Skippers here, Jay. Very good response.
So Baldwin unassisted, obviously, after cleanly stealing that Armstrong Cooper pass, and she made no mistake. And this play ruled offside at the line here. So Tonka doesn't take them too awful long, just over 2 minutes to tie it back up. And as soon as she picked this one off, you just had the feeling Ritten's going to really have her hands full with this, because Baldwin had enough room. Nobody could get out front, and she's going to make them pay most of the time on a situation like that. That's her 12th of the year.
Perfect storm for the Skippers. If you looked at a lot of the box scores this year, you'll see that the last goal scored by the Skippers generally was by Baldwin. She's a big-time player who steps up in the big games.
Baldwin floating this one along the dasher as it takes a bounce to the corner. They can't get it out. Baldwin with it again. That one deflected over the net as they got a piece of it.
I think you're going to see some of these shots from the Skippers start going up high now. They've been noticing that Ritten has been going down quite a bit. I would imagine some are going to start looking for the upper corner.
There's another one on goal from Baldwin, and Ritten makes the save here. So 8:40 to go in the second. We are even up at 2 apiece.
You know, kind of talking too about some of the missed passes and stuff by Armstrong Cooper, and I think some of these older girls on the Armstrong Cooper team, they're holding their sticks a little tight tonight, Jay. I think they think they can do it, but they're putting all the pressure on themselves. I think that's what's happening with them. So they're not making very good passes at times.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I was thinking that to myself. In a lot of ways you'd think that a lot of pressure's on Minnetonka because they're the favorite and they're the defending section champ, defending state champ. But at the same time, Armstrong Cooper has a lot of older players that know that this could be their last game. So the pressure, in some ways is on seniors in games like this, even more than young players. Here's Odell, a steal. Partial breakaway, but Odell is caught and never gets a shot away. Great job to track her down by McMillan. Just couldn't pull away from her.
Boy, what an opportunity there by Marissa Odell, and just couldn't quite get her done. Good back check by the Skippers, though. They caught her.
Yeah, I don't think it was really that Odell did anything wrong. At just good speed, and they stayed within range. And McMillan also, I think, did a good job to not haul her down.
Yeah.
Burke stick handling it out to center, but then it's taken away. Kellenbeck racing back in to pick it up here for Armstrong Cooper. Grabbed there by von Steinbergs, and now right back the other way come the Skippers. Rothstein firing. That is into the shin pads of Zoe Smith. Holmgren picking it up. Rothstein back out high with it. They'll interchange on the point, but the pass between the skates of von Steinbergs, and she has to go back and get it. And there's Enderle pressuring her. Fight for it along the wall, and Holmgren comes out of there with it. Minnetonka wants a change, so Holmgren wisely dumping that one in deep. Here's Burke to pick it up for Armstrong Cooper. Got it to Verbatim.
That third line for Tonka that was just out there has done a really fine job. They ran on the first goal. In fact, they scored the first goal for the Skippers, but I think they've spent more time in the offensive zone than they have in their own zone.
Down to the corner, Dreyer coming away with it for Minnetonka. Pass to the point is tipped. Now they float it across, and Enderle able to come up with this one. Baldwin, though, chases her down. Enderle stops and floats one long one on that. Arisman making the save there. And it flutters out to the center ice. Circling back is Andrea Pavaseth here for Armstrong Cooper, and almost got it through to Terrace. It was tipped, but it still almost made it there. And that one cleared up into the bleachers here, and we will get a whistle with 5:39 to go in the second period. Armstrong Cooper hanging right with Minnetonka right now at 2-2.
Well, that was a nice outlet pass. They almost connected with Terrace, who's very, very dangerous, especially they could have got her clean in on the goalie, but they need to do more of that moving the puck. There's been a lot of puck carrying, Jay, and they're not moving it to each other very well. And the Armstrong Cooper versus Skippers really move that puck together well.
They played for it along the wall, and there's Odell out of there with it, but her shot attempt was blocked. Odell able to free it back up, played it into the zone, but not very far because Baldwin was there. Getting it over now to Norby. Norby has great wheels, puts it out front, knocked away by Ritten, and then the puck was dangerous for a moment out front. Pavaseth can't get it out. Baldwin playing it right back around, and then heads off on a change. Floated toward the net. Ritten stops it for Terrace, who's going to try and just hammer it on out of there. And that will bring an icing call against Armstrong Cooper. They needed a whistle, and Terrace wasn't shy about just clearing it any way possible.
They were getting tired. Written down again, readjusting some things. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of the strategy going on here too. The Skippers have skated really well. I mean, there's an obvious difference between the two teams as far as overall speed and movement. You can see that. And again, Armstrong Cooper's trying to take control of the middle of the ice. They're going to let them stay out in the periphery and play out there and control it. But sooner or later, Jay, it's going to come down to the one-on-one competitive battles. And Armstrong Cooper's going to have to win a few here if they're going to beat the Skippers.
Rothstein out to the point there. McMillan. Baldwin. That one's tipped, laying loose in front. Ritten trying to find it, and then the puck is played right into the body of Ritten as a couple of players, Burke and Holmgren, go down in a heap.
Well, Skippers aren't afraid to put that puck right down there in front of that net, are they, Jay? They've been doing that all day. You know, their goal scoring is down by about 2 goals a game this year, and they've been taught very well that when that happens, at least get some pucks on net and see what happens. And you start getting gritty goals.
Played down to the corner and taken right back there by Lauren Klein for Minnetonka. Klein takes the return, trying to go out high with it. Actually, a nice play to keep that one in by Crow, or by McMillan. I'm sorry, it is Crow, yep. And intercepted by Zoe Smith, not quite able to keep it out. Here's Crow on the move. Shooting, and Ritten makes the save on that one from a tough angle, and will force another face-off with 3:46 to go here in the second period. Each team has scored once in the second after it was 1-1 after one, and we are all evened up here. Minnetonka, again, badly out shooting Armstrong Cooper and getting a lot more chances. However, at playoff time especially, all that really matters is what's up in lights on the board.
Well, one thing, though, too, though, is Cooper, you know, Armstrong Cooper, having trouble contesting up at the blue line. They're losing control of the puck there. They're starting to get it out, but they're so far low that they can't, you know, support each other to continue to break out and get it out of their zone.
Pass into the slot, now out front. Oh, and a nice save by Ritten on the backhand try by Dreyer. Really good vision there from the point to by McMillan to give that one down low to Dreyer, but Ritten was ready. Fight for it along the wall here. Trying to push it out with the hand. It didn't quite work, and now Skipper's controlling. Baldwin, that time pressured a little bit by Terrace. And they can't clear it. Here's a shot. And that one mostly fanned on by Riley McDonald as she was falling. Baldwin stepped up to play it to the corner. Might have gotten tripped up a little bit there, but play will go on. Pavaseth floating one long, and now Odell up with it. Odell forced back and tipped away from her and back out to center. They'll have to regroup now.
Good play on the rollback by Odell, but at that point, if nobody's open, put it down deep. Don't keep it up by that blue line.
On the move here comes Norby, a shot, and the save by Ritten. Then Ritten was knocked down, and the puck is in. Skippers take a 3-2 lead. Ritten got caught up in traffic a little bit, but they're ruling it legal. It's a goal for Minnetonka.
Well, we'll see if there was goaltender interference. Good play here by Norby. Nice job. She used the defense as a screen. I didn't see any interference there, though. We just got it right back in, and Ritten was down and just didn't get up.
Bigham will get the goal. It's hard to see exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Players were, a defensive player and an offensive player were skating by, and they made contact with Ritten right there, but not. No, I agree. I don't think there's anything.
No.
That you would call a penalty, and obviously you can't change your mind after the fact and call a penalty if you don't call it, initially either.
Well, Norby gets a good shot. Now she's going to get pushed in here, and that might have had a little bit of interfering with that stick there.
Oh,
no.
I see now. Her stick caught Ritten in the side of the head.
Yeah.
On the way by, and it looks like alongside maybe the neck. That's what it was. I thought it was her skates getting tangled actually, but as she went around the goaltender, it was her stick that got up high. So that one, if they had seen it, probably could have been a penalty. But
then there's the question of her being pushed in there.
Right.
It wasn't a voluntary movement. It's involuntary. Now you do have to keep control of the stick, but you can see it coming right up there.
It just
right there
caught her on the way by.
Yep. Well, tough break for Ritten and Armstrong Cooper, but see if they battle back now.
Bigham's 11th from Norby at 14:53, so 3-2 Skipper's lead. And they're looking for more. Baldwin dropping it across. Now gets a return and fires. Ritten a save. Puck still loose. Baldwin firing, and that one catches the glass. McMillan will lift it into the corner here, and the Skippers will change up. Armstrong Cooper starting to look a little rattled here. They need to get to the end of this period. Minnetonka really attacking. Big collision there, and Armstrong Cooper's Terrace will come out of there with it. Terrace, a big blast, but that one is blocked. Telegraphed it too much.
Yes.
Now played down to the corners. We're under a minute to play here in this, what's becoming a more contentious game by the minute here. Second period, 3-2 Skippers. Baldwin able to stop that puck at center, and now lifted ahead by Holmgren, a 2-on-1. And a nice recovery by Zoe Smith to get a stick on that one. Rothstein behind the net, battling with Burke. Skippers get it back. Holmgren centering pass, hit Ritten. Now across it comes, Baldwin faking and then falls down. But Terrace will come out of there with it. A couple of players going down behind the play as well. 10 seconds in the period. Looks like Minnetonka is going to take a lead into the third. And that pass does not connect. Maybe I shouldn't speak so soon here. 3 seconds to go. There'll be an icing and a face-off coming up in Minnetonka's zone.
Now, Coach Gray might help himself with 3 seconds left. I'd pull my goalie and put an extra attacker out there.
I was just going to ask you that, but I thought, gosh, if you lose it clean, there might still be time for them to pump one in at the other end. So not going to do it. And now we will reach the end of the second. Well, Armstrong Cooper took the lead in the second period, but Minnetonka gets the last 2 goals. And our score after 2, Skippers 3, Armstrong Cooper 2. We'll have second period highlights, and then what should be a barn burner of the third period up next.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you. I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
And welcome back here to Parade Ice Garden for the Section 6 AA Girls Hockey Tournament. It's been a good one so far here. Number 3 seed Minnetonka leading number 6 Armstrong Cooper 3-2 after 2 as we see our second period highlights. Shot there and into the padding there of Ritten. And here's a drive by Verbaeten and ends up going in. It apparently went in off a skipper skate because they did credit the goal to Verbaeten rather than the player in front, Enderle. And then a great save there by Ritten, just barely able to get to that rebound. Here's an interception by Baldwin and a great one, and it results in a goal as she snaps a unstoppable shot in to tie it up. Enderle getting a long attempt right there. And then late in the period, we get a goal as Norby shoots. Just a little bit of contact with Ritten, and then on the way by, and Bigham able to push that rebound in for a goal for Minnetonka. So that gives them a 3-2 lead here after 2 periods. We'll come back with the third period up next. Thanks for watching 12 Sports coverage of the Section 6 AA Girls Hockey Tournament.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
It's a one-goal hockey game as we head to period number 3. The winner gets Benilde-St. Margaret's in the semifinals coming up on Wednesday. The Red Knights, as expected, had no trouble with North Metro in the quarterfinal round. After this one, a game you'll also be able to watch for on 12 Sports, it is 4th seed Wayzata and 5th seed Maple Grove. And then the winner of that one takes on Hopkins in the semis. Hopkins had a bye. We have just 7 teams in the section this year after Buffalo moved out. So the number 1 seed, the Royals of Hopkins, not playing here on this Saturday. And we're underway in the third, and Minnetonka right back on the offense here. Norby swings it across. McMillan putting it out front. That one knocked down. They can't clear the zone, though. Now Burke. Sending it around, and it eventually reaches Enderle. Nice pass there to Olsen. Olsen will chop it into the zone as they change behind her. Olsen is first to it there. Erisman had to be a little caught off guard, and she looked up and saw a black jersey bearing down, but no harm done. Send it around. Pavasek trying to pinch in, but it doesn't pay off. Here comes Norby, a 2-on-2 on the rush here, and now an open shot and a goal. Annalise Rice left all alone as Norby took both D with her.
Just a great play end-to-end by the skippers there. Just caught the Armstrong Cooper trying to pinch and moved it up. Norby with a nice play, just knew where it was. She did lose control, but there was a player, and Rice just sniped it up into the upper right-hand corner, or left-hand corner. That was a key goal right early in the first minute of the period there. Boy, that can be a real backbreaker. Armstrong Cooper's got to really battle back now and respond quickly here.
Centering pass as they look for more. That one tipped. Rice getting her 12th of the year. Norby the lone assist. Klein with it here for Minnetonka. Pass gets away from Rothstein. And Armstrong Cooper hammers it down the rink, and icing call as we'll come right back into their zone here. And
I was just about to say before that goal was scored there, Jay, the next goal is going to be a very critical one here now too. And that isn't what Coach Gray wanted to see. So we'll see if they can battle back here. They got to create some opportunities and get a little more pressure in the offensive zone than they've had during the game here.
Yeah, now things have to change for them a little bit. Yeah, you know, they were able to sit back and play mostly defensive, and yeah, they were badly outshot, but they were still very much in it. But now down by 2, I don't think you can count on that strategy for the rest of the third period here.
And if I'm Coach Johnson, the only thing I'm telling you, stay out of the box. Stay out of the box. It's the only time you've given them a glimmer. Just stay out of the box, play your game.
Baldwin pursued by Verbatim, gets it to the Armstrong Cooper line. Pavaseth trying to get away, but just too slow with the puck there. Skipper's jumped on it. Now out front, here's a chance. Ritten with a tremendous save, and then another. And then Burke able to knock it away as she robbed Bingham there. That was, well, you know, you wonder if Ritten's starting to feel shell-shocked, but not on that one. A great save.
Well, we talked about she's going to have to make 2 or 3 saves she shouldn't normally make. That was one of them right there, because that would have ended the game right there. And we're going to have a penalty on Armstrong Cooper here.
Right out front for Baton will be called for the high stick as she tried to remove a forward from the front of the net.
Critical moment now over Armstrong Cooper. They've done a good job on the penalty kill, Jay. They've really restricted and done a nice job, especially ragging the puck down in the Skipper's defensive zone there a few times. But they got to kill this one off.
Here's a shot, and into the equipment there is taken by Baldwin. Back out to the top to Baldwin. Shot going over the top of the net there.
Wow. It's amazing how much territory Baldwin can cover.
Penalty coming up here against Tonka, interference. And we're going to be evened up as they will get Holscher for the penalty.
Going to leave about a 30-second power play for Armstrong Cooper here at the end of it. Good look at Coach Johnson. He's had a very nice run here at Minnetonka. Very solid program they've built up, Jay.
And that one came out of the zone. Burke bringing it back in, so offside call.
It's kind of a weird situation. You got 4-on-4 going, and you usually don't practice that much in practice. So it'll be interesting to see who adapts to it better between the two teams here.
Skippers with the beginnings of a nice breakup, but then the pass off target at center. Burke sending it back into the Minnetonka zone. Erzman leaving it there for McMillan, and then Terrace able to come up with it. Emma Terrace drops it off to Burke. Burke shot blocked by Baldwin. Burke chases after it. Alyssa Burke turnaround try, and Erzman makes the save there for the Skippers with 12:42 to go in the third.
And there's a great example of what I was talking about here. Nice move coming around by Burke, and looking out front, there was not one black jersey in front of the net there. Everybody was trying to play their position, but when you take that fifth player off, who's supposed to be in the middle?
Long one on goal there by Kaylee Roy. Now Olsen controlling it here for Armstrong Cooper. Off of Enderle and taken by the Skippers, and now Bigham leading the rush. Bigham shooting, that one's blocked. Follow-up try goes wide. Enderle recovering. Opportunity here for Crow now. Drops it back. Here's a high shot. Blocker saved by Ritten, but they can't clear. Dreyer across. Baldwin shooting.
Ooh.
That one hit a body in front, and it looks like it might have stunned Roy a little bit. And now the penalty to Verbatim is over for Armstrong Cooper now at full strength, but Minnetonka promptly dumps it all the way down. Skated to center and then dumped in by Kaylee Roy. And they forced a turnover, but not much on the shot there by Smith. Back out to the point. Verbatim tracks it down. Trying to go to Terrace. Penalty time now over to Tonka. Here's Verbatim, and that one just over the crossbar. Terrace able to keep it in, but not for long. Baldwin got it to center where Odell took it. Chopped away from Odell. And into the skates of Terrace. She'll recover and plays it ahead for Verbatim, but too far. No icing though. Crow picking it up here for the Skippers. Banking that one ahead, but missed everyone. This one's going to be icing against Minnetonka, so we'll come back into the Skippers zone with 10:41 to play here in the third. Another look at that one is a rising shot that might have been deflected and just over the net.
Nice opportunity there by Verbatim. I like the way she just rifled that thing. And I think Terrace is in front too. If she could have got it down a little bit more and bounced the rebound, Terrace is right there to maybe knock it in. But good opportunity for Armstrong Cooper.
Off the glass and floated out to center. Crow coming up with it here for the Skippers. Crow to the middle, shooting that one just wide. Crow puts it off the back of the net. Zoe Smith up with it. And they're just able to tip it out to center. Minnetonka will regroup on Steinbergs. Off of the stick there of Holmgren and into the Armstrong Cooper zone. Burke back to play it. Holmgren with it in the corner. Puts it right out front, but intercepted by Olsen. And Baldwin steals that one. Verbatim trying to take it right back. Now Enderle offside as the puck just came out, and Armstrong Cooper a little frustrated right now as trailing at 4-2.
Well, just the little things we've been talking about. A little offside here, just a half step, a missed pass here, fumbled puck here, just stuff, and it starts adding up after a while, especially against a team like Minnetonka, where precision is needed to beat that team. And you can see why they get a little frustrated in the black jerseys.
High slapper goes over the top there from Bigham. Bounces all the way back out to center. Nice play by Baldwin, though, to just tip it away from Verbatim. Behind the net, they'll look to attack. Norby circling to the front. Nice pass over to Baldwin. Fires, and that one knocked down in front. Odell up with it. Terrace banking it to the Skippers line, and they'll quickly go again.
Ooh.
Norby a chance right up the middle. And she scores! Presley Norby, the super sophomore, showing off her skill there. A partial breakaway and buries it, and that one might about seal it up, I think, for the Skippers.
She's a been very, very close the whole game. Been a number of opportunities. This one, she just stepped in there, just an extra step quick, and then rifled it right up into the upper right-hand corner. As you said, Jay, super sophomore, leading scorer, just a tremendous hockey player. Oh my gosh. That would be your, what, 15th goal of the year, I think?
Yep. Leads them in goals and points. And Armstrong Cooper using a timeout. I mean, you can just feel that this one has slipped away. They were again being outshot badly, but hanging in it. They were tied 2-2, even at 3-2, but then you can just feel it slipping away now. Here's a look at how things are shaping up in Section 6AA. You see Hopkins in with a bye. Benilde, a victory in our first game of the day here, and I think we're getting very close to being able to put an M in there, Minnetonka in against Benilde in the semis, and then going to be a dynamite one, I think, in the last quarterfinal here too, Wayzata and Maple Grove. And I think Maple Grove has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder about being a 5 seed. They've won 10. They've won 10 in a row to end the season, and they also, you know, we were talking with Coach Potter a little bit. Kind of startling to see that they weren't ranked in the top 10 even by the end of the year. That's a little bit hard to believe, but they've got to show it on the ice, and they've got an opportunity to do that against a good Wayzata team.
Well, you know, Coach Potter's smart enough to understand, too. You don't think for a second that isn't going around that locker room all the time. You're not getting any respect. You're not getting any respect. And they know they're playing very well. I mean, the team that won the Northwest Suburban Conference did not beat them this year. They were 1-0-1 against Blaine. It's a coming team. It should be a heck of a game. Wayzata's had a good year, too. They're in the Lake Conference and have a losing record there, but that doesn't – I mean, they're still in the upper levels of quality teams in the state of Minnesota right now. So that should be a heck of a game. Armstrong Cooper, you know what? Let's start flying some rubber on the net there down in the skipper zone. Just shoot wherever you're at. Try to get some rubber down. See if we can get a little break. Maybe one goal will go in and then maybe another one will go in. But they need to turn it around and get it down in the skipper zone any way they can and just go after it.
And they're looking for more offense. They've reunited the first line that they had to start the game with Odell, Verbatim, and Terrace. So a couple of players who are quite often defensemen, but also very skilled offensively with Terrace and Verbatim. And they know they need goals now. They're going to put this unit out there probably every other shift and see if they can't generate some offense. Even if it hurts you a little bit at the defensive end, that doesn't matter anymore at this point when you're down 3. I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but, you know, Ritten's played well. I mean, every goal has been a quality goal scored on her. She's done a very good job. So, yeah, let it go. Go for it. Go nuts.
Olsen with it in the corner here for Armstrong Cooper. Gets it to Verbatim. Trying to float a centering pass there, but it's blocked by Von Steinbergs. And able to keep it in, well, for a moment anyway, was Kellen Beck. And now the Skippers with Dre are able to push it back into Armstrong Cooper's zone. Battle for it along the wall. It kicks out front here to Dreyer of Minnetonka. She'll leave it at the point there for McMillan. Now Dreyer playing catch with McMillan here. They're up 5-2, 7.5 minutes to play here in the hockey game. Minnetonka looking to move into the semis where they would face Benilde St. Margaret's in a rematch of the section final. There's a pass that bounces away to the corner here, but obviously if you're Minnetonka with this lead, controlling the puck in the offensive zone isn't a bad scenario either. Here's Baldwin shooting.
Yeah, Armstrong Cooper's got to get more aggressive. They got to get at least one person on that puck and really start pressuring a little bit. Even if you give it up a little bit, you've got to get it out of their hands.
Baldwin threw in on net there. That Ritten directs to the corner. And the back pass gets through Baldwin, and she'll track it down. Baldwin speeding ahead the other way, firing, and that one is deflected up into the netting there by Kaylee Roy. So we get a whistle at 6:35 to go here in the hockey game.
Well, Jay, my reports of Minnetonka's imminent demise obviously were definitely wrong. Very impressive, good quality group. They know what to do. And now they've switched the goaltenders, I think, at Armstrong Cooper.
Yeah, Ritten will head to the bench, and they'll put Lexi Ripke in to get her some final minutes here. They've had, both of them have been you know, they're both seniors, both good goaltenders throughout their career and everything. And I asked Coach, you know, before the game, and same as I asked him last year at this time, you know, is it a tough choice? And he said, yes, they're both pretty good, and we, you know, it doesn't mean that we don't have confidence in the other one, whichever one we choose to play, because we like them both.
And they've never had a goaltending issue there as far as, you know, somebody being not happy about it. They've done well with it. And
here's Burt cutting it up the middle. Slams it into the corner. Under 6 minutes to play here. Norby sending it around. Bigham had it knocked away. Now Terrace down to the corner. Von Steinberg's to it first. And a battle for it, and all the way out of there comes Norby. Got it back on her feet and keeps the puck. Put it out front, and then it goes off the skate there of Rice.
boy, she is some kind of player, isn't she, Jay? That Norby's really does. She's got some magic going for herself. I couldn't believe she got it up the ice.
Verbatim controlling it here. Boy, Armstrong Cooper's getting really physical. I don't think we're going to go without a penalty before long here. They were getting a little frustrated and throwing the body around quite a bit. Played around now to Terrace. Terrace able to kick it free now to Odell. And tipped by Verbatim out to center, and that line will head off on a change. Rothstein carrying it. Floating it out front, and Ripka able to make a save. And Klein really didn't get much of a shot away there. It was a good pass, but looks like he kind of fanned on it. And Ripka obviously coming in cold at this spot in the game is a tough thing to do, but she gets a little work right there.
Well, she got the job done. Nice play by Klein. Didn't have to be much on it, but she got it directed toward the net.
They joust for it along the wall here.
It's going to be interesting with this semifinal coming up between Benilde St. Margaret's and Minnetonka. It's been the section final for the past 3 years. And let's say that there's a lot of bad blood in that little rivalry going on, so if we get an opportunity, folks, come on out.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that healthy competition thing with all of the programs that are left right now. There's not everybody loves Hopkins all that well. Yep. Not everybody loves Maple Grove all that well. I mean, and that's okay, I think.
Well, it just adds a little bit to it, but the one leg's common part, they're all good hockey teams, and it's good fun to watch.
You know, and a lot of times you'll hear people that are kind of upset that there's so many good teams in one section. And I definitely get that sentiment, but selfishly, for us being in this area, what more do you love than to see so many good games?
Oh, wait a minute now. What about the, classic suburban or the suburban east over there in St. Paul with Hill Murray and Cretin Durham Hall and all? I mean, we have the exclusive. I mean, this is a great section, no question, one of the best in the state, but there's a few other ones too. There's some good hockey in the metro area.
No doubt. Down to the corner, and Skipper is able to get a nice steal there with Crow. Floating one back out to center. Roy intercepts it. Little fight for it along the blue line there, and it pops back out to center. Madison Jocelyn getting a shift here for Armstrong Cooper. Now we're going to get a penalty against AC right there. It took a little longer than, and Jocelyn ends up getting the penalty. I was going to say it took a little longer than I thought it might to get a penalty, but they get a holding call right there on Jocelyn, and I think what might be her first shift of the night. So.
It is. This is their fourth line they finally put out there that they're starting to play. Everybody's getting a chance to play for all their hard work in a section game, and good job by both coaches. They're both doing it.
Skipper is able to control the draw. McMillan. McMillan able to stop it here. Now comes out to Crow. Crow's shot. Ripka stick save. McMillan back over to Crow. And then intercepted. Verbatim wants to give it to Terrace. Terrace firing and sails it high. Now Skipper's coming right back the other way with Holscher. Drops it for Dreyer. Dreyer had that one go off the end of her stick a little bit. A couple of Tonka players collide a little bit there, but they're all right. Now a tip in out front. Beautiful play by Holscher, directing it in for Tonka.
Boy, nice patient play. Nice play by the Skippers. Just a nice little tip in. Ripke couldn't do much about that one. Just changed direction on her about 5 feet in front of her. Nice goal. You know, we could talk a little bit about maybe that was a little bit of overkill, but you know, I don't think so. It's been a well-played game all the way through. It's just been in the last about 8 minutes, Jay, that it finally kind of fell apart for Armstrong Cooper here, but they played a pretty tough game. They hung in there for quite a while.
Crow will get the assist on Holscher's goal, our third of the year. So a 6-2 lead now for Minnetonka. Burke able to come up with it here for Armstrong Cooper. And that stick save there. Banked out to the line and stopped, chopped right back in by Emma Reeve. Minute 10 to play. Ripka leaving it there, and it comes right out front, but nobody really around in a position to get a piece of it for the Skippers. That one intercepted by Baldwin. Odell ahead to Verbatim. Trying to drop it over to Terrace, but cleared away and back out to center as we go under a minute to play here in the hockey game. We're going to get a penalty coming up here on Minnetonka's Taylor Johnson. And a couple of Armstrong Cooper players end up in a little bit of a pile there. And penalty call will be for a check on Johnson. I really feel like it was a little bit of an unfortunate one for her because the player turned into her. I don't think it was really intentional, but they're wanting to make sure that everything stays clean here late in the game. And you see an injury as well.
Absolutely.
Kaylee Roy shaken up right there.
Yeah.
So Armstrong Cooper getting a power play. Across to Terrace, jabbed away from her, but she gets it back. Terrace down low, battling there. Under a half minute to play, so Minnetonka, congratulations to the Skippers. They're going to move into the semis to take on the Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights. And Dan, we talked about a pretty veteran team here for Armstrong Cooper, and a lot of seniors who have played a lot of hockey and really gotten this co-op on the map. And you know, just some great girls. I mean, got a chance to interview some of the veteran players with their team. You're talking about Terrace and Odell and Verbatim and Burke, and some of those girls have got a chance to know over these last couple of years, and they're both goaltenders as well, Ritten and Ripka. And great careers they've had, and you know, it doesn't go the way they wanted it to here today, but I think they gave it a battle, especially those first two periods. I mean, you look at the final, it's going to look, you know, pretty lopsided, but they were in it.
But look at the quality of work over the past 2 years that this cooperative got put back together. I mean, they were a factor in the conference games. They won a lot of games that people weren't looking to. They've been very, very successful in so many other ways. Yeah, they didn't get through in the sections, but, you know, they should be very, very proud of themselves, and the coaching staff and both schools should be proud of themselves. I mean, to revive this program and to make it a factor in the conferences and in the section, well, my hat's off to them. Great job. Way to go. And Minnetonka, well, by gosh, you got to hand it to them. They ain't the three-time defending state champ for nothing. I mean, that's a program that's pretty doggone good. And I thought the game was well played all the way around. And congratulations to the Skippers, but the seniors for the rest of them, good job.
So it'll be the Skippers and Benilde in the semis on Wednesday night, and the season comes to an end here for Armstrong Cooper. Hope you enjoyed this one. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. That'll do it for this one. You can also watch for the Maple Grove Wayzata game on 12 Sports as well.